I was raised in a Jewish home. We went to an Orthodox synagogue. I remember as a young kid, my parents were into athletics. Their particular sport was poker. And they were out late at night, and I was home alone. And I remember, like a little kid would do, I would say over and over again, I wish they'd come home. I wish they'd come home. And one night when I was saying, I wish they'd come home, a thought popped in my mind. What happens when you die? And in Judaism, we don't talk about death. It's a l'chaim, to life. I'd never even pondered that thought. The only conclusion I could come up with is you cease to exist. But it was such an objectionable thought that I blocked it from my mind for many, many years. So I blinked my eyes a few times and graduated college, and I wrote a song called There Must Be Something More. And I remember the words, they went like this: because I work, eat, sleep, and that's the way it goes. Because I work, eat, sleep, and that's the way it goes. There must be something more. But I didn't know what that something more was. And I blinked my eyes a few times, and I was married, and I blinked my eyes a few times, and I had a daughter, and I blinked my eyes a few times, and I had a wonderful career job with Merrill Lynch. My goal in life was to become a millionaire before 30, and now I'm 29. I wasn't happy. There must be something more. So I did something I'm not proud of. I left my wife, I left my daughter, I left my job, and I went searching for happiness. But do you know, it's a big world out there if you don't know what you're searching for? At the end of a year, things were worse. I took a course, a mind expansion course, where they promised me by the end of the 1-week course, I would know things that I never programmed in my brain. And it worked, and I was so excited. I would just think a thought, and it would happen like this. I would say, I'd like to go into business for myself, counselor. And a man that I just knew casually came into my office and said, Sid, if you ever want to go into business for yourself, we have extra space. We'll let you use our secretary free, our telephones, our office is free. I thought, wow, this power is terrific. But this businessman turned out to be a born-again Christian. And he invited me to a Bible study. He looked at me and said, Sid, do you realize what you're doing is an abomination to God? I said, oh, come on. He said, look in your own Bible, turn to Deuteronomy 18, and it said you go to fortune tellers and seances and witches and stuff like that, and lists all these things that I'm doing. But it was an abomination. And this kind of scared me. So I decided I'd put it on hold for a minute, maybe read this Bible. And even though I had a good Orthodox background, I didn't know the Torah. And at that time, I went into a bookstore and I went into the New Age section. And there's a book called The Jew, the Bible, and the Supernatural. I'm Jewish. I'm looking at the Bible now, and I'm into the supernatural. Perfect. I read the book, and it says it's an abomination for anyone to be involved in the occult or New Age. But for a Jew, it's worse. It listed famous Jewish people that dabbled in the New Age like I was doing and lost their life. And the one that really hit me was Brian Epstein. He was the Jewish manager of a group called the Beatles. They went to the Himalayas, Brian went with them, and at that time only one died. The Jew, Brian Epstein. He had everything I was looking for. Fame, money, everything he wanted. But he's dead. This really scared me. About that time, I became convinced I had something evil inside of me, and I wanted it out. I reached my point, my absolute limit. Life was too hard. I gave up. Death looked better than life. And so one night, I didn't want to live anymore, but I prayed a 2-word prayer from a broken heart. Jesus, help. And when I woke up in the morning, I was shocked I was alive. But more than alive, there was something in my room. The whole atmosphere was alive with the love of God. I'd never experienced anything like this before. And I knew that that evil inside of me, it was gone. And I knew it had to do with that prayer, Jesus. And then I heard the audible voice of God for the first time in my life. And you know what he said to me? He said, I hate divorce. Return to your wife and daughter. And God restored my marriage, gave me back my daughter. And my wife and I have now celebrated our 51st wedding anniversary. I know that when I make a mistake, He not only will give me the power to overcome, but He'll wash it away. And there's nothing disturbing this intimacy, this love of God. When you know God, you have everything. When you just know about Him, you have nothing. What do you have?
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Key. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can reach more people with encouraging content like you just watched, and so you never miss a beat. See you next time, and God bless.